Yo. Alright, if you're seeing this, I'm basically just planning on building a Split60 board before I finally send this out. This is what it looks like. One of the sides anyways. We're going to build the e-beige version. So going to build this with an EC plate instead and EC components. Apologies, I'm a bit sick, but yeah, just gonna. I've basically been finalizing and getting all of these units ready to go and ready to be shipped out. And I thought just before I do that and have everything ready to go, I should build one of these units. Now, in theory, they shouldn't have changed at all from the previous units that I've sent out, but the previous units that I have built, rather, but never know. So I'm just going to verify a couple of things. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think it should all work perfectly fine. There's a couple of things that I haven't tested before, which we're going to be testing today. One of them is going to be the fact that we are using these new space-bars. These are something I haven't had before. We're going to be putting them into an EC unit. I'm thinking of putting this kind of these grey beige style caps on there. I've got a purple classic set, and then the other thing that I need to also test is let me go grab them. There's 3 U stabs. We've got these 3U stabilizer wires, which I've also not used before, so they should be relatively self-explanatory, nothing too crazy, and it should be a relatively quick build, which is good, because 1, I am a little bit sick, and 2, I just want to make sure everything works before sending all these units out. I've got what you can't see. I mean, you can't see a lot of things because I haven't put a video cam on, but there is a hallway down that way, which has a whole bunch of these units ready to go, and so they are ready to be shipped out. I just want to do a final test run. We're going to do just that. I'm going to swap these plates, build the EC unit, get it done, and have everything good. So let's do just that. Now, I've not built an e-beige unit before. I have utilized, I have one of these was a prototype unit, or I got e-beige done in a prototype unit, but I never built it. It was in some of the photos, but it was never actually built. It was only ever photographed as unbuilt. So that's why I kind of decided today that's what I would go ahead and build. Now, this unit realistically will probably end up for sale once the extras have, or once all the units have been received by the people who originally bought. But because I really don't need another unit. I think I've got quite a number of these already built and already utilized. So yeah. If you're interested in potentially buying this unit, if you're seeing this on a YouTube live stream later, and you're like, hey, interested in buying this unit, send me a message on Discord, and you may be able to do just that. So it'll be pre-built aside from keycaps, I'm expecting, as I might keep these, but I might I mean, if you really wanted them, I could probably sell them to you. We can talk about that. But otherwise, yeah, feel free. Now this unit I am going to build as I said before, as the EC variant, and the reason for that is so that I don't have to go ahead and dismantle everything and swap out switches and things like that. And I mean, the reason for that is it's just going to be easier to sell as a unit rather than someone buying a unit and then wanting to swap the switches to something else. And yeah, this just saves me a little bit of time. Now these plates can be a little bit finicky to go ahead and piece together. They're not too difficult, but they are a little bit touchy. And it's just because of the design. When I've made it, I kind of made it quite small for the plate size. There's no real kind of reason behind it. It's just when I was designing it, that's just what I did. So as you can see, just a little bit finicky to get these screws back into these positions, but not terrible. Perhaps if I had a slightly different screwdriver, a magnetic tip would be phenomenal. Be really useful. So I really like the beige color. I think it really pops out, and it reminds me a lot of the traditional. The reason why I chose beige was the traditional HHKB beige colorway. So that's kind of why, and what went into that. So yeah. Now for this particular unit, I haven't quite yet decided which spaces I'm going to build these with. If anyone ends up tuning in live, I mean they can choose if they'd like. But otherwise, for those who are maybe checking the VOD out on YouTube, you'll end up seeing them. There is essentially either a clear variant that allows light to shine through, or an aluminium version which doesn't. Kind of makes it a bit more classy. What I have in front of me in this black version here has the aluminium version, and that's once again just like hiding. It prevents the light coming through. So in my opinion, I really like it. I think it looks, for the particular board that I've got in front of me anyways, I really wanted that kind of classy look, which it does a little bit better. The LED shine through is a bit more of a, I don't know, like a bit more of a playful look in my opinion. Yeah, so you can see these LEDs that are bright and colorful, and they look really great, but just not quite the look that I was going for, at least when I built that unit in front of me, which I wanted more of a classic minimalist look, less bright and in your face, which I think a beige and the keycaps that I'm building will probably work really nicely for that, but maybe not. Maybe it'll be nice to have a little bit of color in there. I think I'll decide as I kind of get through the build process here. But yeah, as you can see, this is relatively simple. I'm just swapping out this plate. The one that comes by default is an MX plate, and so it's even easier to build. It's just a matter of going ahead and piecing it together. These are just standard 1.6mm plates. By design, you get the default of the MX version. But yeah, these are super simple, relatively easy, and they work quite well. This is what we're building today, is actually the HHKB variant. There was quite a substantial number of people who ordered HHKB over WP, and so that's kind of why I only ordered extras of the WinKey, of the HHKB actually, because of that reason. There were so many people that only ordered the that didn't. There was like, what am I trying to say? There were very few people who ordered the WinKeyless version, or the WinKey version, rather, I should say, which I thought was interesting. I actually really, I've got a purple unit built as a WinKey, and I thought it would be more popular because it's a pretty standard, stock standard layout. But I was correct. I was incorrect. I guess everyone's got their own little preference. Okay, so for the EC variant, it is a little bit more painful to build, just as a heads up, but it's just part of it. You essentially have to combine a bunch of these stands and add all of these different details into the units. So it's a bit of a tedious and manual process. The screw, which screws you use in which direction don't really matter. I like to do essentially this kind of motion where I put the screw through the hole and then feed it through the other side, and connect up the stem or brass spacer. And so what we're doing here is, because the EC variant needs there's nothing holding the PCB on, unlike an MX variant. This is what you essentially screw in the PCB into. So what you'll end up seeing a little bit later is we end up screwing the other side of this with the PCB attached and all of the other mechanisms implemented. So, but you'll see that shortly. This is a bit of a sandwich process. Now, with each of these screws, or with each of these units, the EC units, you'll end up getting 32 screws. Although the packaging says you get 27, I went through and manually added in extras because of some of the manufacturing issues that the person who sent me the screws miscounted, and so I had to rectify that. But yeah, so for the HHKB, I mean, you need less, because of obviously the blockers, they cut out a particular amount, but relatively simple. You can see this process is a little bit tedious here. But essentially what we do is we do this with all the different holes, and then we have to do this again once we connect up the PCB. But yeah. Now, this is, like I said, first time building one of these eBay's units. I haven't had the privilege to do so, but I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out. I am, so far, as HHKB goes, I've built the one in front, and then the WinKeyless one I have is purple, and then I also have a polycarb version, which was a one-of-one prototype which I built, and that was also in, I think that one is in WinKey. But these units are basically ready to go out, which is awesome. I am really excited to get these essentially shipped out to you. So if you're watching this and you're interested and you've bought one of these units, I can't wait for you to receive them. Please make sure you send me photos, as a lot of love has gone into building these, a lot of time and a lot of money. But once these all end up getting sent out, this will be the last keyboard that I manufacture. And so there's a bit of a bittersweet moment here, but yeah, I'm gonna do a full recount of like the costs and how it all played out, and hopefully people enjoy that. Now, I'm honestly not entirely sure how important these ones on the sides are, but we'll do them anyways. That is a completely different screw. And we're coming up to the last rod here on the external side. This will be the final one. Perfect. This is what it kind of looks like in the end. Got all these rods poking out. And then what happens is the PCB sits directly on top of that. And sandwiches. You screw the PCB in, and then it sandwiches all of the individual units, like what you see here on the off onto the side of the screen here. This is an EC keyboard. I'm trying to pull one of these off, and so this sits kind of inside here, and that then ends up getting sandwiched between the PCB and whatnot. Perfect. Okay, so let's go and do the other side. So now that this is done, I'm just going to pop this on top nice and safely. Take this off, do the other side. Now, my favorite, probably one of my favorite things about this board is the weight itself. I was hoping this would just come out nicely, but alas, let me go ahead and unwind this slightly. See if I can get. Alright, I'll get the old. This thing. Cool. There we go. But yeah, the weight itself, I'm a huge fan of. The design, actually done by a friend of mine. That's why I really quite enjoy it. I went through the process. You might see a bit of a similarity between the weight that you're seeing on the back of this PCB and the desk mat that I have. And that would be because they're the same artist. So you can kind of see this kind of hand. The idea behind the in-cut variant here was so that you could fill it with a particular color enamel if you'd like. I haven't actually done that myself, but that'd be something that I'd love to do at some point. Maybe once I've shipped out all these units, I'll end up filling it with an enamel. But yeah, the same artist that did this lovely desk mat also did the art for the weight, which was really cool. I think it was something different for him, something he'd never really thought about or had ever really worked on, and you know, being able to give an Australian artist an opportunity to work on something cool and unique, I think is really fun. So once I really like how they have both, you know, you've got these two separate designs reaching out with these hands, and I'm really happy with it. I think it turned out really awesome. So hopefully you do too, if you have gone ahead and acquired one of these units. It's probably not a reason why you would buy it, but I personally think it really adds a little neat touch, especially if and when I end up filling it with a nice colored enamel. I think that'll end up adding like a really cool, seeing a beige or a black variant with a purple or a blue or some kind of different enamel. And I mean, when I originally gave when I gave him the design brief of exactly what I was thinking and what I was wanting, the original name for this board was going to be called the Corpus 60, and the reason for that was because there is a surgery called the corpus callosum, which is a surgery that people do on people with it's been a while now, but I'm pretty sure it's to do with people who had a particular mental illness. I'm not sure if it was ADHD or something else, but they or maybe it's people who were in psychosis. But essentially what they would do is they would do this surgery where they would actually cut the brain, or the connecting mechanism between both halves of the brain. They would cut that cord, and it's called the corpus callosum. So when I originally had designed this board, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking having like you know, the idea of having your two brains, two sides of the brain. One is your left hand, one is your right hand, and that was kind of the brief in which I was hoping to put forward. But yeah, it's I think he ended up kind of capturing that. I mean, we ended up I changed the name entirely from corpus callosum to just a simple Split60, and that was just purely because by the time that I had found a name that I really liked, the board had already caught up traction on GeekHack, and enough people were already looking at it as the Split60. And one thing that I've learned is that, you know, if you try to change the name on things, you will end up losing the people who, you know, find your product from the original name. And so, for instance, like, I think there was two elements to it. One is okay, if I go change this name, the people who found it as the Split60 aren't going to, they might not see it again because they're like, I'm looking for the Split60. And then the other part is that the people who if someone's Googling for exactly what my board is, which is a Split60, they're going to search for a split 60% keyboard. And the name that comes up there, if that says corpus callosum 60 or whatever, that's going to be less likely for them to click than a very simple, hey, this is something called a Split60. That's exactly what I'm looking for. And so, yeah, that's what kind of made me end up keeping the name of Split60, and unfortunately not keeping the cooler name, which I think is Corpus 60. But not much you can do. It's okay. I'm happy with the name and how it all worked, and how it all worked out. So, and at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter as long as the board exists. Now this one is going to be a real finicky little guy, I think. Maybe I should have assembled these with the plate off, or not screwed in rather. That's okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. Alright, so these are all now built. We've got everything pieced together here. This is the e-beige version, and I think it's looking really good. Now, I've got a couple of extra screws. These can just go in the bag. Probably fine. And let's go ahead. Just package this all up. Let's go ahead and put some more screws together. But for this, we have to go ahead and put in the new, what are they called? The Navy units. The EC Navies. Now, I'm going to go get 2 fresh boxes and then input them in here. Give me 1 second. So, these little guys are the reason why this board could have an EC version. In case you don't know, these are produced by an organization or a company, or a guy rather, called AE Boards, or Keyboard Treehouse, depending on how you know them. And these are a really cool unit that essentially they allow an EC mechanism to exist, the electronic, I don't know how to pronounce it, the EC mechanism to exist within a MX-sized unit or MX-sized housing. And so what that means, these are the reasons why this board exists for the EC variant. If these didn't exist, I wouldn't be able to make this. And so that's been like a new thing. Now there's a few different companies that make them, but I believe AE Boards was one of the first ones to get these done. So, you know, that's kind of how this existed. I was actually giving up on the EC side of things because, geez, when I started working on this, I mean, there wasn't really anything around that would allow me to do what I wanted to with this board, and that was pretty unfortunate. But just as I was kind of getting to the point of giving up, Eric, who is the person who designed these, ended up kind of piecing these together, and in the end, I mean, it worked out really well. And like I said, I mean, I was 3D printing some other alternatives, which if anyone ever wanted to see those, I could show you, but they don't look very good. And there's a reason why that didn't end up going anywhere, because really it was going to be such a hassle for me to get those custom units made. It was going to be a nightmare. So yeah, fortunate for him, very fortunate that he decided to go ahead and develop these, and I think they work really well. And I'm a huge fan. The fact that it has allowed me to make this board an EC variant is my favorite thing about it, because at the end of the day, like, the main inspiration behind this particular keyboard was the HHKB, and having an EC version is kind of an absolute classic, right? If I wasn't able to do that, I'd be, disappointed. And the MX version is good, and I really enjoy the MX version. The MX version I have is built as a purple unit, and it's awesome. It really is. It's really quite special. But there is something about the EC version which is just sick. It sounds great. It looks great. I am a big fan. And so that's why I'm building an EC one here, because I prefer it over the MX. Although I really do enjoy some MX switches. These are just like a nice breath of fresh air. I mean, having used MX for so long, that these are really quite special, and I'm very, very fortunate to be able to use them. So, thank you, Keyboard Treehouse and Eric, for developing these. So, yeah. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to piece these together. Now, I am being a little bit particular on how I put them in, just because if the person who buys this from me is also particular, I'm sure they were going to appreciate that and be glad that I did this. So it's a little bit more finicky, but it's not that bad. Now, what you'll see with this particular unit is, or these particular units rather, is that the cutouts around the spacebar are quite large. And the reason for that is to allow for either a 2U or a 3U stab wire. Now, 2U stab wire, you can kind of pop that in and it'll be sweet. But I enabled it so that you could have 3U stab wires as well. And the reason for that is a couple of things. One is when you're building a keyboard that has something unique about it, like 3U space bars. You can use 2U space bars for this, but you know, obviously 3U space bars are also really cool. And if I could use that, as you can see like here, that'd be more ideal. And with 3U space bars, if you try to enable that, a lot of people don't have 3U space bars. So I had to go ahead and find someone who could manufacture, or who had already manufactured 3U space bars. And fortunately, the Alice 3U split keyboard, I'm trying to think of the name. It's a really popular one, but I can't think of what it is called. It's made by a New Zealander guy, Gok. Type K. The Type K had come out, and when the Type K was being manufactured, he offered 3U spacebars, which meant that I could just go ahead and find who they made theirs through and get the same. And so that is exactly what these are here. These are the 3U spacebars that come with the Type K. They're exactly the same. But the problem with them is that they are 3U spacebars with a 3U stabilizer, stab wire, which isn't necessarily a problem, but it does mean that I couldn't give these spacebars and then not have 3U as an option. Whereas all of the 3U spacebar kits that I have, like the ones you see in front, they're all extra units for GMK. Those are kits that are 2U or 3U, so they're much more versatile. Unfortunately for these, they're purely only 3U. And so that's why I had to end up making this variance where you could have both, which made designing things a lot more of a pain, if I'm honest, and also made some things more of a headache in regards to the plates. The designing of the plate is, because of the 3U 2U kind of thing and having both, it ended up being more annoying, and I couldn't use a universal plate for the EC units because of that reason. So that's just like I don't know, that's just me giving you a little inside scoop. But anyways, we are almost done here building out this. Let's go ahead and put this back in. That's not weird. Yep. Alright, so these are all done now. They're, as you can see, kind of what the bottom, what the base looks like. These are pretty much good to go. Now we have to do our stabs and PCBs, and then we'll be happy days. So I am going to pack these up. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab the old stabs. And I think stabs and PCB. So I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. I have the stabs and the PCB. So, I've got a couple of different stabs here. I think I only need 1, 2, 3, 4. So only 4 stabs. So I might be able to compile these based on the stabs that I already have. I'm not entirely sure. Gonna see. It's looking grim. Got 2 sets. Let's skip those and instead I have these. I've got Stabies. I've never used Stabies before, I don't think. Another Keyboard Treehouse product. Super good. Big fan. I've never used them though. So, we've got this wonderful PCB. Hopefully wonderful. Alright. So, got them in the stab. Got the PCB. I really like this PCB. I think, I mean, this one, I don't know what happened here. I don't know why how this got so bent, but it's okay. This was something that Scipulot decided to go ahead and include. Wait, why is my board split in 2 pieces? And comically, this is almost split in 2 pieces at the moment. So there's a big old snapperoo. Anyways, it's fine for this. Doesn't matter. So we've got this. Got the PCB. I'm gonna go ahead and take this particular board. Snap these off. Boom. Nice and good fit. Very exciting. I love the purple. I think the purple looks dope. I'm a big fan. I'm very happy with the purple and how it turned out. Gonna snap all these off. And then we have to do the whole process of exactly what we just did of screwing these in, which is a very painful process and is very tedious. But before we do that, I've done this before where I've forgotten to do the stabs. So let's make sure we do those because I don't want to disassemble these. So I've done it, I want it done. Happy days. So to do this, we are going to use Stabies. Which are these little guys right here. Now, these are like I think a test kit or something Eric sent me. So they are a little bit kind of, not as pretty as what you would get if you bought them from him. But none the worry. This will be fine. So we've got 3 U stabs we're going to use for the spacebars. Once again, these are something I haven't actually used yet. So, be fun. I don't think it's going to be any different or anything special, to be fair. But, nonetheless, one thing you'll see on these PCBs is they are very much at the spacebar. They're like cheese graters, mate. They're like a Swiss cheese. And that's because of those extra stab holes. Those 2 U's and 3 U's. It ends up making Swiss cheese out of the PCB itself. So, once again, just another thing we had to do to customize or modify these to work for it's 3U and 2U stabs. So just part of the fun. Part of the fun. Alright, so it's been a while since I've actually built and used stabs. Most of the units and boards that I own, I don't do that. Because I don't like stabs. I think they suck. But I understand why they exist. It's just most of the boards that I use don't use them. And I prefer that. So what you're going to notice is I am really lazy in regards to stabilizers in lubing them and stuff. I probably should, and I think I probably will go back and do that with some of my older units, as I have noticed sometimes it can be quite nice, but in this case, I'm just going to build this how I normally build all of my other things, which is without loop, and then if someone wanted to go ahead and change them, or swap out the stabs, or put their own stabs in, or do whatever they like, they can. Because once again, this unit should be, I'm expecting, will be sold. So, because I just don't need to hold on to another unit. Also, so these are the 3 U1s. We can go ahead, find where these pop in. We inverse here, we have 3U, this furthest one here. Go. That should be good. And then let's go ahead and pop that in. Beautiful. Love your work. Alright, so that's 1 stab down. We just have to do 1 more. There's only 4 stabs total, so 2 on each side. Relatively simple. Nothing too crazy to worry about in this regard. I'll take one of these. Right. I always find stabs just so fiddly. Maybe it's just because I'm not good at using them. Because I don't use them often, I'm not very good at building them. You know, it's a bit of a filling cycle, probably. These are very smooth. For unlubed and stock, they are incredibly smooth though. Which, I think that's the... I mean, a lot of people have raved on about these in particular for that reason. That's nothing new. Sweet. Perfect. Now, what I should have done is taken these screws and things out to be able to do this, but better than the lobotomy. Sorry, Wooly, I missed these little messages. If you my apologies. I was looking at a different screen. Better than the lobotomy 60. That is a terrible name. I would agree. I've chosen a better name than that. I do apologize for missing your messages. Hopefully you're still here if you are. I like the feel and practicality of the EC natives a lot, but they do tend to pop out of the plate too easily. I would agree. I don't know if that has been rectified in their newer versions. Unfortunately, I've not got any new versions with me. So I do know. Where did I drop that? No. I dropped it. Damn it. Damn it. I dropped something. I dropped one of these little small O-rings. Anyways. That'll be gone forever. I'll never find it, and the vacuum will. Yeah, they do pop out quite often. I've noticed that. Pretty sure they might have been fixing that in the next variant, but I could be wrong. Now, where did I put my hex? Am I blind? I think I might be blind. Where did I put my hex? I've got too much going on here, Wooly. Too much going on. Thanks for tuning in. Where did I put? You can see my chaotic hair. There's a hex bit somewhere here. I had it earlier. And I think it could just be blending into my desk mat, which is very dark and just lucky to catch me live. It's very rare, mate, and I'll be honest with you, this is probably the last time you'll ever see me live. Just to be fully transparent, I don't plan on streaming regularly or anything like that, so it's very rare, and this will probably be the last time. Because yeah, like this is the last board that I'm producing. And I'm so confused. Why can't I see this? Hello? Why? What? Where did it go? There's a small rod goes into this. Like what? There's this. It's gone. It's gone. And it's not in my kit. I'm so confused. I don't think I dropped that as well. I could just be very blind. Laptop resolution is, yeah, too fair. So fair. So fair. I'm really perplexed. I just used it. Like moments ago. And now I need it. Genuinely stumped. 1 second. Let's see if I can. If standing up helps me. Hello. Maybe it rolled off. Maybe there's a chance. I mean, I don't think so. It would have. I mean, that's what I thought, and that's why I would have felt it. Annoying. Okay, I can probably do with something else and utilize something else. Maybe one of these. These ones. These fit in. Here you go. So bigger. Nope. Oh, yeah, okay, this will do. Not ideal. I'll find it later. Anyways. G'day, Fed Theo. How you doing? I'm streaming across both YouTube and Twitch, so the two of you who are in chat can't actually talk to each other. But you are both here, and thank you for being here, I guess. I don't... Normally when I stream these things, the only thing that I do this for is so that I can have a recording. That way I can put on the YouTube channel. and then I can point back to that and be like, this is how you build it. Or if someone goes, I'm lost, how do I do this? I go, here you go, use this. So that's the whole point of these, not for getting views and things like that. But I also have it as a session where people can actually join if they want and ask me questions about the split or whatever I'm building, right? So yeah, welcome, both of you. Yeah, like I said, this is a pretty chill build. Building this EC variant. I don't know. I haven't figured out what keycaps I'm putting in just yet. But yeah, excited to have this in. Hey, hello to the Twitch user for me. I did. Absolutely, Wooly. Wooly, did you get one of these as well? Did you get a board? Your username is familiar. So I'm assuming you did. What unit did you get, if you did get one? Did you get a particular color? Cool. So we've got stabs ready to go on this one. My hair is going everywhere. Time for a haircut. And now we've got these 3U stabs, which will go ahead and populate in here. Okay, fair enough. I don't blame you. I mean, they're expensive units. There weren't many of these made. And I mean, candidly, even at the price point, which I got a bit of backlash on, if I'm completely honest, I got a little bit of backlash on the amount that I had made and how expensive they were. But candidly, I'm not even making money on them, unfortunately, which is crazy to say because like I look at how much these units were and I was like, I'm still not making money on these. It's insane. Congratulations on the house. That is a much more important choice than what a silly keyboard is. So good for you. That's spectacular. I'm proud of you. That's a wonderful experience. Hopefully you have now moved in, as the group buy is now like 6 months or 9 months old. So hopefully the home has now been a great choice and things are going well there. Stoked for you. Yeah, look, I mean, it is a low MOQ. I mean, I think keyboards as a whole is now a low MOQ. Like, I don't know if many people are making huge runs, other than some of the Chinese vendors, because I think they're mass producing these, which is awesome because you get great boards at cheap prices. But for any custom, you know, geek hack style units, I just think I think they'll die in the water. They're just too expensive now. Hoping for extras. There will be extras. So I've got 6 of them made. 6 of them are extras. One of them is this board you're seeing in front of me. So I will end up flogging this one off as well. I was worried there for a second. Whew. Okay. That's a snug fit, but it works. That was scary. I'm not gonna lie. I almost froze. That would have been very scary if that didn't fit properly. I would have been very disappointed. Yeah, so there's 6 units total that are extras. I have 2 of each color. All of them are HHKB. So if you wanted something that was W key, unfortunately, I don't have any W keys. But all of them are HHKB, and they'll be available once everyone else gets their units. So you'll have the opportunity to get one. I haven't seen too much demand for them, so hopefully everyone who wants one gets one. That's my hope. And fingers crossed, I guess. I would agree. I would agree. HHKB has been my preferred thing. I mean, it's grown on me. I never used to be a HHKB fan until recently. And it grew on me, especially with this board in front of me. This black one is just gorgeous. I really enjoyed using it. I was worried about, you know, like playing certain video games and things like that, which sometimes it can be a little bit less beneficial, but it also isn't that big of a deal. It works really well. I love having control is like having control as caps lock is my favorite thing on everything now. Even on boards that aren't HHKB, I do that. I just find it so much nicer. And caps lock I never use. It's always like a dead in the water key for me. So being able to throw that and put it into something else is something I very much prefer. Every time you show these off in public, people are starstruck and then they cool off on the right. People are starstruck and then they cool off on the right back home. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm always shocked at just how few split boards are made. It blows my mind. So I'm glad that there's a few people that really like them. I wish there were more, frankly, so that way I could have made more of these units and not maybe made money on them, but that's okay. I'm also okay with the very exclusivity. Like, it doesn't bother me that much. And I think it is cool that there's this weird niche community of people that like these really cool boards that don't really exist or aren't very popular. They're rare, right? And I think that's fun. I'm not a fan of exclusivity just in general, but I think some people like that, which is cool. Like, if that's what brings you joy, that's what brings you joy. So that's the unit fully assembled on this side, from what I can see. Stabs, everything else, control caps. Pinky's perfect for control. I couldn't agree more, man. I couldn't agree more. I really, like I said, great. So good. Alright, let's build this other one. Let's piece this one together. Let's do the stabs and then we'll be set to go soon. Need some more stabs. Perfect. But yeah, I mean, I am very happy with how these have turned out. I think they turned out really pretty. They turned out better than my original designs, which is good. It took a long time and a lot of prototyping and a lot of headache. But I think if, you know, since this is going to be the last board that I've made and making, I'm very content with the fact that they've turned out as good as what they have. So very proud of it. I think it's a great way for me to finish up my keyboard making adventures. So I'll leave the generic keyboard making up to other companies that are better and are able to do that. Alright, stabs. pretty much well and happy days. Now, I have what stabs here? These ones. Do these? Alright. Since you're in here, Woolly Mittens, you can decide. Because I personally don't really mind either way. If you're still here anyways, what would you want to see? Do you want me to put a spacer with the clear acrylic, or do you want to see the aluminium blocker, you know, no light gets through spacer? Do you have a preference? I can show you what the aluminium one looks like. It is. This is what the aluminium one looks like. It's exactly what you would expect. It's the aluminium. It's just that color, but aluminium. There's that, or the acrylic. The acrylic looks absolutely amazing. All right, I'll go get an acrylic one. Easy done. Easiest choice. I'm looking forward to it. Happy to do that. You like the caramel? It's like magic flowing out from the side of the keyboard. Dude, I cannot agree more. When I thought of that in the design, I was like, this is going to be pretty sick. And I still think it is. I still think it's rad. And I think a few people really like it, but it was less than I was expecting. I think it just adds a flair. It adds a level of like, this is really unique, because you just don't see that in other boards, in my opinion. And there's a reason for it. Like, no one else builds split boards, but in the ones that do exist, you don't see that really cool thing. And so for me, I couldn't agree more. I think it, in your description, it's like the caramel running out of a Mars bar. You're spot on. It's sick. So I'm glad we're gonna build an acrylic one. I'll go ahead and I'll do that. My favorite part, and I agree, it is crazy that it is divisive, and I can't like it. So there was a point in the design process when I was designing this board where I had two options to go. One was to make it, make the base in a way, or make the keyboard in a way that wouldn't be possible. And there was another option, which was to make it so that it was a little bit fiddly, a little bit more annoying, but it would be possible. And I almost went down the other route, and I ended up making a prototype of the other route, but it just didn't, it just didn't hit the spot. It just didn't look as good. And I mean, I think if you wanted the clean aesthetic, the non, you know, the non-LED version, it made it look a little bit better, because then there wouldn't be a cut. So the original design that I was thinking about, this whole wall wouldn't be a, wouldn't be two pieces, it would be just one. So it would be like a whole piece together. But then you don't have the option to be able to throw in the LEDs, which, the thing that I like about the LEDs is that the board itself tucks away, and when you've got it together with the LEDs, you can barely notice them. In fact, in a lot of ways, they're very hidden. You don't see them. And then the second you split the board, that's when they pop out. Like you said, like a caramel, in a Mars bar. They just pop out like, hello, I'm here. And that to me is, that's where the money is. That's the money show right there. I love it. So, I'm glad you agree. When I originally came up with that design, I was like, this is gonna be sick. This is gonna be sick. And it still is, in my opinion. Very sick. Almost as sick as what I am now. Alright, I think that is all of the screws. One more I missed. Problem is there's so many of these holes, so many cheese graters in the back of this thing. Alright. This is looking pretty sick. Alright, let me go get a clear acrylic and I'll be back one sec. Alrighty, my friend. You asked and you will receive. This is the clear acrylic. The only alternative I could get into would be like a brass insert. I agree. I almost went down the route of brass inserts for these. But I didn't want to add more products to the line items because I was already like, there's so many. There's too much of a headache already. I was thinking about it though. I was in the same head space as you. And part of me goes like, that would be cool, and I wish I did it. But then the other part of me was like, I needed to get this board done. And something had to be sacrificed. And unfortunately, it was the brass inserts. Because if I had to go through another prototyping round, I probably would have just decided the keyboard wasn't worth being made. And called it a day. So. If you really wanted them, I mean, I could probably open source the spacer if you'd really like, but I'll leave that up to you. If you'd like that, I can probably find this. Oh, make it. You just have to go through and get it manufactured, which it would be such a ball ache. Wouldn't be probably worth the time, if I'm honest. But that's my opinion. But it would be a cool little niche benefit. What I would have loved is to get more of the brass plates made, but they weren't honestly very popular. I feel like brass might be going out of style now, which is interesting because brass used to be the style for so long, and I guess this just shows how the industry has changed, which is fine. I would agree, the light pipe is best. I'm with you 100% on that. Whew. Alright. Now, for these, I have a separate set of screws which I'm including, which should be somewhere here. My desk is currently a mess. I have all this paper everywhere. These screws. Now, this should hopefully piece together quite easily, quite nicely. This is my first, like I said, first time actually assembling one of these. I don't think there were any changes. I think it might have just been manufacturer change, but otherwise, like, pretty else. Look at that, dude. That's pretty good. Sick. I really like how clean that looks, especially with the alloy kind of shining through too. That does it for me. And that's why I really like the polycarb version too. Unfortunately, the polycarb version is never going to see the light of day, other than when I use it personally. Unfortunately, too difficult to bring to life, but pretty sick. Come on, that's pretty sick, that is. How could someone not like the goddamn little polycarb, shine through, cheeky devil? That's a rad look right there. Alright, before we continue, I have to go ahead and piece together and put together all of these daughter boards because there are so many of them. This goddamn board, 4 daughter boards for this thing. 4 of them. Crazy. A work of art. Mate, it feels like it. A lot of love went into this. A lot of pain, sweat, and tears. Well, if I'm honest. Now, these screws they've provided, to be fair, aren't the right size. The daughter board does jiggle, but not much you can do. I'm not going to be swapping them out personally. If you want to swap them for something else, you can. They still work, they hold it, it's fine. It just jiggles. Doesn't matter though. Daughter board number 2. Where are you based, Willie Mittens? Are you in the US? Nothing some shims won't fix. Yes, you could shim it down for sure. Shims, you probably want to put some shims in between the screw, the top of the screw, I would imagine. You couldn't shim the base of this thing because it would lift it up too high, and then you'd probably be able to, you would be struggling to get it in there. You're in Wollongong. Oh, you're an Aussie. Oh, far out. Okay, I see you. I feel like, dude, the amount of people, like, the amount of Aussies who bought these boards, I think there's 2. I think there's 2 or 3 in Australia. So, like, not many people bought these boards in Oz. Split boards just is so rare. No one likes them here. And I think that's just because the market's small. Like, so, that's why I always assume American. I need to find the daughter board cables. I'll be back. Board cables. I had them earlier yesterday. Now I do not. I don't know what I did with them. Seriously. Boards. Tables. Okay. I'm so confused. I need those to finish the board, and I just can't find them. Let me keep looking. Okay, I don't know where they are, but I've got some alternatives. These aren't quite the right ones, but we'll find them. Anyways, maybe they're in Narnia. Yeah, I would agree. I seem to have lost these hex bits. I mean, to be fair, life is a bit of chaos at the moment, so that could be, they could just be lost in the world of who knows where. Along with my hex bits, and yeah, who knows where. Who knows where. Yeah, I agree. I just think like people like the idea of them, but split boards are too scary for most people, I think. And like I get it. Like you're spending, if you're gonna put forward like $800 on a keyboard, and you get a board that you're like, actually I don't like it because of the core mechanism of it. Fair. Like I wouldn't want to, yeah, I'd be cautious spending that money too, right? I just think split boards here just aren't very popular in general, which is interesting to me, just on a concept level. Like I don't quite understand that, because I'm just a huge fan of split boards. I mean, as you can probably tell, all of the boards that I've made are split. But yeah, don't know. Don't know. I can't explain it. I think people like things, but then when it comes to actually putting down money, that's the bigger thing. But I didn't realize you were in the goal. That's super close. And I'm glad we did meet in the Granville meetup. I mean, that was a while ago now. Jeez, that was years ago. Ah, yeah. Is that a mark or is that me? Can't tell if I put that mark there or if it was already marked. Now these are a bit longer, so they're a little bit more tedious. The original ones that that are included with the actual unit, the ones that I'm going to be shipping to people, aren't this long for this reason, because of this slightly tedious finagling process that is here. Come on. Play nice. That's also a very, very good point. Like, the economy right now is friggin' rough, dude. People are struggling to afford fuel. Filled up my car, it was so much money. Like, and everything is kind of tackling the same thing. So, I get it. I get it. It's all of these things. It's all of these things compiling. So. Now, that should be good. Sick. Alright, let's do the other half. Get this done. Bum, bum, bum. One thing I noticed as well is that I was never much of a keyboard stream watcher. That is like a dead thing now. Like, no one's streaming. All the people, or at least none of the people that I know, all the people that I used to know, no one does it anymore. And I guess that's just because the hobby's kind of dying down, and the hobby as a whole is tanked. So I guess with less people interested in it, less people streaming, makes sense. So it checks out. Less money, less people streaming, less people interested. It's certainly not COVID times. Where, can I ask, where did you, so you're in Wollongong now, where did you move from? Were you in Sydney? How did that move go? Was that like a good move? You happy you did it? I've thought about that a lot. I mean, I love Wollongong. I think it's such a lovely area. It's really pretty down there. I actually go down there a lot for rock climbing. I'm hoping, if the weather holds out, I might get down there this weekend for rock climbing. I think it's unlikely because the weather is literally saying it's going to be pissing down rain, but... Live near Hornsby. Ah, that's a big change. Big change. Hopefully the change is good though. Sort of same. Okay. Sort of. Oh, sort of same. Right. Yeah. I mean, kind of, right? Like, you're out of the city, but it is more sane. Now it's, yeah, cooked even more now. I mean, Wollongong itself is. I mean, it's been a busy place. People have been saying that about Wollongong for a long time now. It's always been a busy place, and people realized that like it was so much cheaper than Sydney. And so people were buying there years ago. I've heard that for a long time. About like Wollongong, prices are so expensive, etc, etc. Escarpment. What does that mean? That's a big word. Let me Google that for you. Escarpment. Steep or long cliff. Yeah, yeah. There's so many beautiful cliffs there. So many gorgeous ones. There's like, I'm blanking on a lot of the names, but like Stemwell Tops area. That's a fantastic area. That's technically not Wollongong, I guess, but it is close. When I say Wollongong, I mean like I head towards that way. There's a couple of different mountains there that are really pretty and worth it. And I mean, obviously you got the beaches and all that. It's such a beautiful area. So I mean, I'm stoked for you. I'm sure it was a great move, and hopefully it has worked out. Hornsby to there though must have been an interesting move. Adapting. Hopefully you don't have to come into Sydney for like work or anything, because that would be an absolute nightmare to travel up every day. I'm guessing anyways. I don't actually know, but I would assume that would be a nightmare. Yo, we're almost done here. Perfect. It's a 2-hour train ride into the CBD. Ooh. Do you have to do that every day? Tell me no. Tell me no. Every day? It's not. It's not great either. Like, for me to go in out west, it's like an hour and a half. So I mean, it's not 2 hours, but it's not great either. I'm very fortunate though. I don't have to go into the city. I don't have to go into the city at all. I go in occasionally for work, but I go in 2 days a week. Okay, cool. That's better. That's better. Yeah, I'm very fortunate. I don't have to go in as often. I can typically go in once a fortnight, if that. But yeah, I'm very privileged for that. I couldn't do every day at an hour and a half. So I'm glad you don't have to do every day either, because that would just be Jesus, shocking to say the least. What's that tool called? VIA. I think these are VIA compatible by default. Haven't used this in a minute. Okay, cool. Do I have to? Let's see. Hey, we got lights. Seek. Let's see. VR work for me? Yes. Do you work by default? Nope, I have to do this test. Diagnostic. It's been a long time since I've had to do this EC thing. Show matrix, EC, definition, key tester, configure, EC, calibration, bottoming calibration. Hey, we're good. Alright. We're good. I'll do the other half, but I'll do it through. I'll show a via window for those that want need a hand with that. Yeah, going in every day would be awful. It would be awful. Alright, I'm glad that all worked. It's, like I said, first time building this, so that all functionally works, which is sick. Party time. Almost. Almost. It's keycap time. God, you can just see my hair there. What I'm building in is these are WMI keycaps. I need to take these off the website, so otherwise someone might buy them, and right now they are being mounted, so they couldn't be able to buy them. Let me remove them off the old website. These are called WMI. Let's see, WMI. XMI. Classic keycaps. English. And let's get rid of those. I don't buy them anymore. Yeah, we're almost at party time. Almost there. Almost there. Alright, let's piece this together. Let's throw these keycaps on. What I've chosen, it's not quite, I mean, it's not going to be a perfect color match. Like, it's pretty close, though. I don't know if I want to change this. They should work. I don't know. What do you think? Do you have an opinion on this? I think they look pretty good. There's a little bit of a color difference. Should we try this, or do we change color? You have any opinions, Wooly? Beige goes with everything. All right, beige it is. Beige with purple. I also have, if you preferred, I have other beige sets. I got beige XMI, Chinese, beige can take it. All right, I got Chinese tricolor, and then I also have Chinese gradient. Do I have any other gradient colors, gradient variants that aren't Chinese? Beige XMI. Google. I have Thai, Chinese, RGB, Japanese. I think all my other sets are Chinese. At least I'm Korean, but I think Korean's gone. What color are you? That's just black. Dude, my beige. This is so dirty, but I mean, it's all my beige. Let's Tango looks so sick. Big fan. Beige on the old Tango, so rad. I think the purple will pop. I think. I do have color accents if we really want to grab them too, but I think this will be pretty sick. Time to build. Purple is perfect. If you set the LEDs to purple too, my man, I agree. Let's cook. Let's get that going. All right. I'm with you. You've sold me. Let's go. Now, I don't know which base bar. We'll have to find the proper space bar to put in this, but I'm with you. Let's just remove the keys that are too big and that aren't needed. Does this have a 3? Is this a 3U? No, surely not. No. Okay. Like, that'd be sick if I had 3U already. That'd be very cool. Alas. Whole bunch of extra keys. Alright, let's build this thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3. I got a good feeling about this. I think this is gonna look sick. I'm not really doing this in any order. It's just kind of chaos, to be honest with you. Which I'm guessing is probably very apparent, to be fair. These are all keys that have to go on. Woo! Can't wait. I don't even know. I might not even want to get rid of this once I build it. I might want to keep it. I mean, I really don't need more keyboards. That's what I keep. I need to get rid of my keyboards. But maybe I end up dumping it somewhere and maybe I dump another keyboard instead. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But I am really enjoying this colorway, and I think you're right. Once we get some purple LEDs on this bad boy, whew, it's gonna look sick. And the beige, God, I love beige. The reason why I chose to build this one is because I used a beige one in the prototyping photos, because I got a prototype made in beige, but I never built it. It was just like an unbuilt, hey, this is what the color looks like. Here's what you think. So, yeah. No, you can't do that. None of that, Wooly. Mate, I genuinely don't need more boards. I'm in the process of actually selling boards. I don't need more. That kind of energy I used to have, I don't need that anymore. I've become much more of a less is more. You just end up with too many and then you don't use them. And then it's like, what's the point? So whilst I used to be a big like, yeah, just buy more keyboard, it makes you better as a human being. I just became less and less of that. Why is my stab sticky? Why are you stuck? Okay, it just needed to be pressed more. Yeah, I mean, God, it used to be me to the T, right? Like, just get more keyboard, make you better human, more keyboard. But nowadays I've become much more responsible, and I mean, like, I just have too many. Like, as part of the having built them, made my own, Now I'm just kind of sitting on this pile of keyboards that I'm like, I don't even get to use them. And I'm also in a point where I'm starting to just reduce the amount of stuff I have in my life. Like, I just don't need all of the crap that I have. I'm trying to do a little downside because I'm trying to move overseas. That's my plan. So after moving 24 heavy boards from... You have 24? My guy, dude. 24? That's too many, man. I mean, I have... God, I must be at like 16. I mean, to be fair, I must be at like 16. And that's so many. But like, a lot of it's work boards. A lot of it's boards that I built to be built. Like, boards that I needed to build. Right? And so, like, if I didn't have this company, I wouldn't have that many. The fact that you have 24 boards as just a regular individual is insane. Like, I've got concerns for you. Should I be concerned? Do I have to call the police? That's crazy. But like, you know what I mean? Like, you've experienced this too, right? It's just, do I need that many boards? No. You move one time. That's the thing. You move one time, and that's when you realize you just don't need that many. Everything up to that point, you're like, nah, you know, I kind of wouldn't mind another board. And then you move. You move once. Because then you got to put it all in a box. And then you go, Jesus Christ, why do I have this many? And it puts it real quick in realization of like, okay, well, what's the reasoning here? What am I doing? Because it's one thing to own them, it's another thing to go like, cool, I have to cart you from one side of the world to the other, or one area to the other. You package them all up together, and then you realize, uh-oh, there's a lot. There's a lot. Did I pack in that key? No, I didn't. There it is. One move is enough. One move is enough to teach you not to clutter your life. Dude, 100%. 100%. So I agree. I think like you only have to move once to go, actually, I don't think I need more stuff. And that's what I'm kind of going through at the moment. I mean, just a heads up. I mean, I don't think this really matters, but after I make this keyboard, like after this gets shipped, I'm gonna close down the shop. I'm running a sale now. I'm gonna run another sale, and then I'm gonna sell all my stuff. Someone else will hopefully buy it, and that'll be the end of Mountain Keyboards. And it's sad in some ways, for sure. But there's part of me that's so excited because I'm like, I'm gonna have less stuff, dude. I'm gonna have less things. How cool! I can't wait to have less things. I just don't need all this shenanigans. Just don't need it all. I just have a couple of nice boards, and that's that. To be fair, and this is where I'm going to correct myself here. It's really hard to decide which keyboards to keep. That's a tough one. It's one thing to be like, no, just get rid of your boards. You have too many. What are you gonna do? Why do you need this many? It's another thing being like, cool, I'm actually going to start downsizing, and you're like, well, but I like that one, and I like this one, and I don't want to get rid of that one. So, you know, what do you do? Yeah, I've been trying to close this shop down for a while. I've been trying. I mean, I've been, like, literally been waiting for this keyboard to finish, so that way I could do so. Because I was like, I just want this to be done, because it's the last one. Uh, but yeah, you're right. I've been waiting. I've been waiting a minute. Oh, there's 2B. They give you 2Bs in this one. That's pretty rad. I didn't realize they did that with XMI. That's really good. The double B Andes. People who like those double Bs. That's very handy. You mentioned before at a meetup. Yeah, it's not sad. Life just makes changes, man. I just want to move overseas. That's my plan. I just want to move. I want to go do some time. Do a little adventure. Live a little life over there. Unfortunately, I'm going to be losing a lot of money in doing so. Losing money in selling this business or selling out of my business. Which, to be fair, it's not made me any money anyways. It's actually lost me money. But that's just because I'm not good at running a business. Or this kind of business, I should say. And I made a lot of mistakes, but that's fine. That's part of learning. Part of the fun. Okay, what do I want? Do I want an FN or do I want an arrow key? Do we have an FN? There is an FN. I think I want an FN. I like the FN. Now we go Windows key. Yes. I think we go Windows key. And we go Windows key again. Is that the... Ooh, they might not be big enough. That might not be big enough. I hope you find a new outlet for your creativity. I hope so too. That's actually very kind of you to say. I don't know what that'll look like. But I also hope so. Because I think creativity is so fun and like you need to have it. Like if you don't, things kind of suck. That is the wrong size key. I think I'm gonna have to, I've got an alt. That's a bigger one. That's a 1.5. I've got a control. I've got another control. Hey, another alt. Okay, these will work. I'm just gonna swap. I'm gonna use alts here. And I mean, I guess this isn't how I use the keyboard, but this is what I'll do. Should use a switch puller. Let's see if I can get it out without it. Do I have a keycap puller near me? Damn it! Keycap puller time. Keycap puller. Where are you? Gotta have one here. Why do I not have a keycap puller? How ironic. Guy who sells keyboards doesn't have a keycap puller. There we go. And do I have to pull up alts? Yeah, that's actually very kind of you to say. I hope I also will find that. I've got a few ideas, I've got a few fun things. I'm gonna start another business. I just know I will. That's the beauty of life, baby. You get to learn and try different things and have them catastrophically blow up in your face and then learn from that and live and move on. Do I have a better key for this? I don't think I do. I think alt is going to be it. But no, I'm excited. I think it'll be fun. And then if it's not, then I'll figure it out. And then maybe we mix it up. Maybe we put a little... No, let's not. Let's keep it universal. Let's keep it nice and snug. Alright, none of these space bars are gonna work. They're just not the right size, unfortunately. Luckily, we have a spacebar kit that I get to test. But yeah, so I don't know exactly what's going to happen with all of this. Obviously, the Split60 this will be the last one and the only one that gets made. only round that gets made. And then after that, it'll be gone. So you'll have to grab one if you want one. You can grab one. But yeah, I think it's you're right. I think I don't know if I actually said that. I mean, it's something I've thought about, but I think it's a cool thing to have as part of my little legacy as this keyboard shop, as being like this one and only thing that I made, and having it be a really cool part. Made some cool boards. So now I'm pretty well colorblind. Like not well colorblind, but like I am colorblind partially. Which do you think matches perfectly or best? My guess is this one. On the right here. I'm pretty sure this is what's gonna match. These are too bright. That's bright white. That's like more bright beige. I think it's these. I mean, let me look. That's too bright. That's much better. Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm right. On YouTube, they all look exactly the same. Yeah, okay, cool. Cool. Well, then in photos, they're going to look all exactly the same too. So it's fine. That's not true. That's, I mean, I don't color grade stuff, so it'll be fine. Anyways, it'll be fine. What are you going to do? It's close enough. Close enough is what I'm going for. Now, why aren't you working for me? Cool. Happy days. Kind of. This isn't happy days. Why aren't you playing nice? I don't know if that's just because the stabilizers are cooked, or if I've pressed the key down too much. Maybe it doesn't like the 3 U's. Maybe it's the 3 U's themselves. Feels okay now. Like it's like it's too heavy. They have very tight tolerances. Okay, cool. So that's something that I didn't know about stabies. So I'm going to blame it on the stabies, which is fine. That makes sense, because I have had this with a few different things. This board here, I'm using clip-in Durox, and I mean these things are insane. The tolerance on this is bananas, mate. I'm never gonna use these again, and I haven't been able to use them since because it's just rough. They're just rough. So okay, that's probably the same thing. That's probably the issue. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. All right, well, let's get this sucker plugged in. I reckon let's give this a little red hot go. Move out of the way, black. Oh, I'm gonna move over to here and bring in e-beige, baby. Now, one thing I didn't include in this is that there are e-beige set has a what am I trying to say? I don't know what I was trying to say. Anyways, the E-Beige, super sick. Look at this, dude. Look at this, dude. So sick, dude. This is a great... You're so spot on. The colorway of the beige with that little purple pop, little boop, boop, boop. So sick. Alright, so... let's go ahead. Let's do... see if I can bring up on the old OBS. Because this is something that everyone is going to have to do. Alright. Close and open VR. Select window. VR. Alright. Groovy, baby. Alright, so we got Via over here. This little guy right here. Now, with Via, to get this to work right now, these keys aren't gonna work. So if you've just set this up, you've just set up your EC60 and you're like, why isn't it working? It's because you need to do some configuration. Now, by default, the PCB should be ready to go. It should be happy for you to utilize. You should be able to use VIA instantly. You might just have to reopen VIA while it's plugged in, but it should be, it's VIA compatible, doesn't need any kind of plug-in or anything like that. Doesn't need any side loading is what I mean. That's what I was actually going to say. Willie Mittens, you reminded me. The board itself, the black one that I have, has magnets set up in it, where you can actually use magnets. You can put magnets into these particular boards, and the magnets will then pull them together, depending on how strong you use as magnets. The magnets that I've put in here, I actually glued them in, and so you can kind of see, like, it kind of just pulls them a little bit closer. Now, what I have on here is I have the feet. I wouldn't actually use the feet if I wanted to use the magnets personally, because then they obviously get in the way, but anyways. We have to do some EC calibration. So, if you've just set up your Split60, this is going to be on YouTube now, so I'm going to send this to people who say that it doesn't work. You've got your thing, it's coming up on here on VR, but when you go ahead and press buttons, it doesn't work, right? You might get maybe an occasional button that works, but everything else doesn't. You're going to go to your configure tab, you're going to go to EC tools, and then underneath calibration, this is where we're going to use this. We're going to enable bottoming calibration. Click that, go through and press every single key. One by one. Every single key. We're going to turn that off. Now, I don't know if this spacebar is going to play out because of it being held up. But now we can go back to our key tester. And it should. Happy days. Yeah, that is going to be a bit fiddly. But that's just the stabs that I've got in here. But, there you go. That's now your thing. It should all work. Make sure... Cool. Easy done, mate. Perfect. Now, the important thing that we need to do. This is huge. Right now we are on Rainbow Swirl. I want solid color, and I'm thinking something purple. This is just me randomly picking a little purple. What do I want? Something like that, maybe. And now, let me go ahead and turn off the old light over here. Oh, so it's a little bit darker. Oh. Hell yeah, dude. This was a great call. This was a great call. This looks even better in person. I mean, it's going to be hard to see. I could probably tone down the light in somewhat shape or form. If I did something like this. And just like, post it away maybe. But that is sick. That is very cool. That's a great color. And it looks pretty rad. Great choice. Thank you for helping me choose this. I'm glad. Yeah. Purple pops. Purple pops, baby. The way it looks like that instantly sells the concept. That's what I mean, dude. Like, you look at this, and it's packed away. Now, you're obviously looking at an overhead camera, so it perfectly is, you know, in alignment to see the LEDs. But if I'm looking at the keyboard, so if I'm looking at the front, I can see a little bit of light shining through here. I can see, like, these tiny little bits when I'm straight on. But if I'm over to the left, like, if I'm looking from, like, this angle here, I can't see anything. I'm looking from the right because the keys block it. Like, I can't see anything over here. So, and then you're just like, dude, friggin' check out this. Ooh, and then you split it and it just looks sick. It just looks sick. That's the beauty of this board right here. I love this little guy. I'm so glad the concept came to life. I'm so glad the concept. It's just gorgeous, dude. What a freaking sick color. Now, if I was using this, if I was keeping the purple, put some purple enamel in this, and have this be like a purple enamel, or like a red and then a blue to, you know, obviously you join the two together, it becomes purple. Everyone knows how colors works. That'd be rad, man. I might keep this board. I don't know. I built this. I was just talking about getting rid of boards, but now I look at this and I go, what the hell is this? This is sick. It's so good. What a pretty color. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But that has been it built. That's it. That's it done and dusted. Now, I guess we should probably do a little sound test just to round this out as a little build. Now the spacebar, this right spacebar is cooked, obviously because of the stabies thing. So that'll be a little bit busted. But if I go ahead and I bring up typing, what's the typing test? We can use monkey type. What is that? I'm typically a left spacebar user, so it should actually work okay. Now let me bring over a old microphone. Now this is dusty as hell, so don't look at that. Ignore that. All right, let's see. Where are we? Filter. Let me turn off the old mic filter. No noise suppression. Okay. And let's bring up monkey type. This is what people do, right? I think this is what people do. Let me use this to trim this down. Wow. Okay. Let's do a little sound test. This is the Split60 in E-Beige with XMI keycaps. It has EC navies on it. And I think that's it. I think let's go ahead and get into it. Now I struggle to type, so let's see. Let me read it. What the hell? Oh. Okay, let me try that again, because my brain... Cool. And then maybe we should do one with it open. Opened up. That's the whole point of the Split 60, baby. Let's do it. Cool. That's it. That's the board. Heck yeah. Glad that all worked out. Sounds very topper in a good way. I would agree. It is very topper. Very topper. Keep the ones that fill you with joy, mate. I have too many keyboards that fill me with joy, unfortunately. All of them fill me with joy. I was looking at another board today. I was looking at one behind me, and I was like, God, that thing is absolutely amazing. I mean, it's a gorgeous piece of board. It's called a Kajal. I'll bust it out. It's a red 40% split. Red 40%. It's absurd. It's dirty at the moment, but like it's so pretty. The red is so lovely, and it is so heavy. It's got this brass weight. It's normally got a brass knob that goes in there too, which really is just a beautiful accent to the board. And I mean, it's phenomenal. But I look at this thing and I go, what the hell am I going to do with this thing? This thing weighs like 2 kilos on its own. Like, it's so heavy. It's also disgusting and dirty, and I haven't taken care of it. But, you know, it's like, it's such a beautiful board, man. But like, what do I do with it? What do I do with it? So, I haven't decided. We'll figure it out. It's not a problem for right now. But, that's this board, and this is free. This is sick. I mean, like, hello. This is really something special. I'm really stoked with how this turned out. I think it all worked really well, except for this little space bar, which is fine. That's just how the Stabies things work. Otherwise, that's me done. I'm gonna go and continue organizing some stuff, packing up my life, and hopefully trying to be less sick coming out of this cold. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out, Woolly Mittens. Good to see you. If you want a extra, shoot me a DM. I can see if I can organize something for you, especially since you're Australian. I would agree. I think it is my glory. Anyways, have a good day, man. Take care. We can talk on Discord. Just ping me.